episode 21 of the Minnesota Twins Out of the Park Baseball 24 playthrough. And we are coming off our fourth World Series in 5 years. So this comes with a lot of, we got to keep this up, I guess. So first of all, salary arbitration, we'll be bringing back Coleman, Petty, and Rodriguez, obviously. You guys have been so good for us. Unfortunately, I think the Zach Cauer era, at least in the majors, is going to come to an end, unfortunately. A guy with so much, he was so freaking good his first, 3.5 years, three and some change. And then he, had shoulder inflammation and just not the same pitcher anymore. He wanted $4 million in arbitration, and I can't do that right now with my budget. So, fortunately, that will come to an end. I might try to re-sign him, to a cheaper deal. He still has plenty of options, 3-on-3 option years. So, might not be the end completely, but I can't give him $4 million right now. In other news, we offered an extension to Byron Buxton. It's $10 million over 1 year. So, it's not going to kill us if he can't play, but also, I want to keep him around. He's one of the OG guys from the team, so longest tenured Twin by far, I'm pretty sure at this point. So, keep him around for his whole career. He's been here for, 15 years now, which is pretty crazy. And has had some good years, so, I want to keep him around as long as we can. So, we're able to. Guys coming off the books, we have Munoz, potentially Buxton, and then I forgot to mention I called up Chase Dollander for one start at the end of the year, just because I needed a guy, and he was fully rested, so called him up. He was horrible, but at least my 2023 first round, 5th overall pick, the highest we've drafted in this series, he made it to the majors. So he wasn't bad in AAA either, so it's not like I completely BS that. But yeah, we'll hop into the offseason here and update when something else happens. So here's a cool trade that just happened. Wander Franco goes to Boston for some, okay players. The Solarte guy's okay. This guy can be a starter somewhere, maybe in the minors, and then Kurt Rutledge. It's probably just a salary dump, but, Franco goes to the Red Sox, who have been a pretty good team in the save, so just something to keep our eye on, I guess. Also, I forgot to add, Logan Webb accepted his player option, so he'll be back with the Rays retaining all of that salary. So we get a free Logan Webb for 2031, so pretty cool. Just wanted to update on that. All right, as we do, let's run through the awards and who won what. So Carlos Correa wins a Gold Glove at shortstop. Again, he has, 5 Gold Gloves right now. 4 of them coming with us, so cool stuff there. He, he's aged, but he's still a good defensive shortstop. Reliever of the year, Noah Dean finishes second, gets 9 first place votes. Carson Coleman gets 2 first place votes as well. Looks like Sam Hench's old friend between Houston and Texas won the award. Silver Sluggers, Palencia wins it at second base. If DeMartini played all year, he might have had a chance there, but this dude had a huge year. Caproligo Ligio had a pretty monster season. He finished second in MVP. I'll spoil that. And old friend Alec Burles, right? He was on our team? No, never mind. That was another save I did, but he wins at DH. Rookie of the year, John Lash gets 5 first place votes out of the pen. Cool stuff there. And we got manager of the year again. And Mike Wolf wins a unanimous Cy Young. Gismondi finishes second. And John Lash finishes 5th. Nola finishes down the ballot a bit. And Noah Dean gets a vote as well. Noah Franco wins MVP. 21st place votes. Palencia also got 1. Franco won it in just 114 games. Monster season. 192 WRC plus. This dude is going to go down as one of the best players if he stays healthy. Mike Wolf also got some votes to first place. And down the ballot, Gismondi also got a vote, and John Lash. So John Lash, wow, gets MVP votes but doesn't win Rookie of the Year. So that's interesting. How good is this guy? Yeah, I mean Lash probably should have won over these guys. I would say, just by impact. But anyway, there's the awards. We'll update probably when free agency hits. Okay, so free agents have filed pretty good class here. We don't have a ton of money to spend. Remember, like 15 million of this I need to keep open, so we got like 5 mil maybe to spend. But I mean, I think our team's in pretty good shape. The one good thing about being pretty fiscally responsible is we have $74 million for extensions. So our only really guaranteed contracts are DiMartini, Palencia, Dean, and that's it. And that's like, what is that? 80 million in guaranteed deals. Correa, I mean, I'll probably accept that. I would assume at this point. Chase Petty, I mean, $9 million. Kind of steep, but besides that, we don't have a ton of guys like due for big pay raises. I would love to lock up Mercedes long term, for like maybe a 7-year deal. Um, Pretty reasonable. I would probably, increase that a little bit. That seems a little unrealistic, but I guess he's coming off a rough year. But if he's asking for that, I might extend him this offseason at some point, just because he's a very valuable player for us. Derek Mitchell is not due for arbitration for 2 more years. Um, Mike Wolf has 2 more years at the league minimum. I'd like to extend him, but pitchers are scary in this game. As you could see with, oh my goodness, as we saw with Collar, like a guy can go from a stud to, an unusable player. I think that's how you spell his name. Really quickly. So he actually doesn't want a big contract. I might throw him this. Just as like a, prove it. Maybe he can come back. I mean, he's a 2-time All-Star, 4-time MLB champion. Maybe I'll look at that later in the offseason. I doubt people are going to rush to sign him. But, yeah, we have about 20 mil or 5 mil to work with out of the 20 mil. There's a couple of good free agents I really like. This guy, Tink Hence, I've seen him kicking around in Milwaukee for a little bit. And he's been, pretty model of consistency here. Really good starter, and his ratings are pretty good. So I'd like to get my hands on him, but he's got a big demand and such. And I mean, there's guys like Corbin Carroll who, way out of our price range. But I think the team's in pretty good shape yet again. Let's see if we activate Correa. So Correa will be back 2 to 3 months. Yeah, he'll be back for opening day, so he'll be good. So say we put Correa in here, and then there's some kind of combination between Ruckert, Schreier, Vera, Peno, whatever, our infield. We can figure out the rest, and then at DH we got. But Buxton did accept the deal, so he's on the books for 10 mil. Bonus if he gets 550 plate appearances. I'd be shocked. There's almost no chance that happens. And then we still have Montez. I don't know what he's going to be at this point. He might be trade bait if I could find the right deal. It's because he's now a line drive hitter. That's actually pretty huge. His ratings are still good. So yeah, my scout still likes him. Rodriguez is due to be a free agent after the year. I mean, it's not unreasonable, but I probably won't give that to him. We'll see. I'd like to move Mercedes to a corner spot eventually. Derek Mitchell's good out and right. Yeah, we have some options here. We got some guys in the minors too that I like coming up. Harrison Sodden, he's on his way. He's got to cut down the strikeout rate, but besides that, he's still a nice player. But a lot of our top guys are actually pitchers. So Glazebrook still got to work on his control, but had a pretty solid year down in A-ball as a 21-year-old. Eric Watson was in high A and kind of struggled. I don't know if he's going to pan out, but you never know with these guys. And then, our first-round pick this year, Danny Bruin, he's down there. We got Jack Rucker who can play a corner spot out in the outfield. Our fifth-round pick, Brunach, he crushed rookie ball last year. Stephen Hookfin who was a first round supplemental pick, pitched well in rookie ball, and Amari Brazen, who I hope comes around because I really like him. He was a first round pick in 2028. He wasn't horrible in A ball last year. He's got to cut down the walks like most of these guys, and I guess actually our hitting depth's a little weak now that I'm looking at it in the minors. So maybe we look to lock up some of our hitters here at some point, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll update when something happens. All right, so pretty big trade here to report. So I was just shopping around some guys. I kind of have a problem here with some left-handed hitters that aren't really infielders, or at least good ones. I have Owen Peno here, and I have Jack Rucker. Both guys, a little bit different players, but kind of infielders without a home at this point. But I was shopping them around, just seeing what I can get, and this guy Jeff Roy, the number 4 prospect in baseball, first overall pick a couple of years ago. He came up as like one of the guys, that they would trade, or maybe what I was looking for, trade for Estrada here. But either way, the point was I was trying to get rid of some infielders, and I was just looking around for trades, whatever, just moseying around, and this guy Jeff Roy came up. He got a lot of MLB action last year. Now, he was okay, really good at the glove, but, the upside is huge here. 24 years old, might not ever develop into this, but, I think it's worth a roll of the dice here. So I have a trade set up here. It might be a little gimmicky, but this is a big prize for them. Juan Villicana, a really nice prospect here. Probably a first base only type, but if he develops with this bat, it can be a really good player. We also give them Juan Esparza, a versatile guy in the lower minors. Didn't hit well for me in A-ball at all. He might not ever come out to anything, but, this is an intriguing player nonetheless. And then we also give them Luis Ravello, who is really highly valued as a good defensive shortstop and not horrible at the bat. And then we give them Gage Zeal, who is a nice little pitcher here. Nothing crazy, but I might throw in someone else just to sweeten the pot, because this seems, I don't know, it seems a little cheesy. How I kind of was able to game the system with this. I might give them this guy Bonilla. He's a really nice player, at least potentially. Hit well for me in rookie ball last year. But also, I don't know, Jeff Roy's 24 years old and not really developed fully. The strikeouts can be a problem, so I understand why they don't love him. He's hit pretty well in the high minors, but nothing crazy. Maybe I'll give him a lower level guy I like him. Juan Hernandez is an interesting player. We got him a while back as an international free agent, way back when. He struggled in the minors, but he's eventually made it up to AAA this year. And, yeah, he's actually an interesting player. So, you know what? I'm going to give them him as well. Owen Peno will stick around, as will, what's his name? Rucker. But I think it's it's not really a fair trade, but we're taking a gamble on a 24-year-old who, had a rough season. But, okay, so we're going to pull the trigger. Jeff Roy, the number 4 prospect in baseball, now a Minnesota Twin. So we'll add him to the active roster. Tentatively, he'll be my opening day third baseman, I would say. But, there's a lot that can happen between then and now. So we'll move ahead and get back to you guys. Actually, you know what? We have a couple of things to report. Let me see. So at least I thought there was. We offered some guys some minor league deals. I offered Yasser Mercedes a contract extension. 6 years, $82 million. It's $5.5 next year in his first year of arbitration, and then 12 or so is next year, and then I bought out 3 free agency years or 4 free agency years for 15 mil a piece. Let me send ahead and see if he accepts it. And, okay, there we go. So he takes us up on it. Pretty cool. Yeah, so about 15, $16 million per free agent year. We have a team options, age 32 season. Coming off a little disappointed of a season, but I still like him a lot, and um, yeah, he'll hang around for at least like 6 more years. So love to see that, and yeah, so we'll be back with our next update pretty soon. All right, so a kind of funny development here. So I got about a month ago, Cody Schreier and Aaron Nola launched a downtown dance club. Whatever. It's kind of funny reading through this. If you want to pause it and look through, you can. But come to you know, this past week, Cody Schreier was suspended for 5 games for a fiasco. So unfortunate. Nothing I could do about that. But yeah, he'll be out for the first 5 games of next year. That sucks, but I just thought that was kind of funny, but not a big deal. All right, folks. So we are back, and this may be the most fiscally irresponsible trade I've ever made in my life, but I think I'm gonna pull it off. So the I guess the backstory behind this is Alvaro Estrada is kind of a jerk. Every time I sent him down, the clubhouse is kind of like relieved he wasn't there. A really good pitcher. They say my scout says he's a 4 or 5. I would agree with that. Maybe even higher than that. But um, and a Vera, he's the really tough one to give up here because he had a really nice year last year. But I mean, at best, he's probably a backup infielder, and his value's never been higher. So I think I'm going to flip these two for Hagen Smith, who we've discussed a couple times in this series, and the A's signed him to this massive contract extension just last year, and they're kind of in money trouble, it looks like, because they have no budget space, and I think they're just trying to get out of from underneath this contract. So we would get Hagen Smith through his age 27 to 33 seasons. The big money kicks in 2033. And I kind of need, Nola's not going to be here forever, even if we do re-sign him at some point. It's a lot. And then, besides that, we don't really have any long-term deals besides DiMartini and Palencia. It says whatever, our payroll is going to be $335 million. A lot of these numbers are really inflated. Like Jeff Roy probably won't be making $13.1 million in his first year arbitration. Same with Jack Ruckert. There's no guaranteed deals really. Yasser Mercedes is on a really affordable one. We don't have a starter locked up long term, so I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on this. If we need to clear budget space, we can always do that, or we can eat half this deal. I don't think it's gonna be pretty by 2037. But the one thing I love about Hagen Smith is he makes all of his starts. Like this dude's good for, 32 to 34 starts a year. Throws 200 innings. A little bit of a rough year last year, but I think with our defensive catchers and everything and how we've kind of become like a pitching lab of sorts, I think we can kind of pull this off. And I love this pitch mix. He's kind of got a little bit of everything there. The fastball is really good, 95 to 97. And, we've seen him be really good in the sim. He won Cy Young in 2027, a couple good years after, and, a rough year last year, but Athletics are a win now team, but they I can actually get them to retain 5%. I'll do that. They're a win now team, but they have no budget space. They just signed Corbin Carroll to a huge deal this offseason, and I don't know why they did that because they have no money. We get rid of a Vera. That sucks, but his value's again never been higher. And Strada, kind of a jerk, and he's got a good floor as a starter, but we get a chance to get a 27-year-old stud to kind of keep this dynasty going for a couple of years at least while everyone gets older. So our GM, he cannot endorse this proposal. I get it. It's a massive deal to give up, but it's a chance to get a front of the line starter to replace Nola at some point. So I'm gonna go through with this. And the fans don't like getting rid of Vera, but as you can see, our clubhouse likes getting rid of Estrada. I'm sure he'll do well in Oakland. I'm sure both of them will, but our fans love Hagen Smith coming to town, and there you go. Also, just a way to mix up this save. I don't want to keep running up the same guys every year, and kind of sure it gets boring a little bit. So, boom, Hagen Smith will pop into our rotation. Now we have like, wow, this is pretty stellar rotation. I don't even think I need John Lash in here anymore. So, that actually expands our bullpen. We get the lefty in there that we've wanted, and overall, I think it could hurt us down the line. Like now, our payroll is projected at 350 million that year, but you got to give up something to get something. So, yeah, we'll be on the hook for this deal at this point, but it's not going to be. He'll be 33 at the end of the deal, 34 maybe. So it's not horrible, and he's durable, from what I can see. And also we signed Trent Grisham. I know we have a ton of outfielders, but I'm expecting Buxton to get hurt and play like 50 games. So Grisham gives us a good center fielder, and that allows me to move Mercedes to right, and put Derek Mitchell at DH. When Buxton eventually gets hurt, then we can play around with this. But I like these 5 outfielders here. Jesus Montez, I was actually shopping because he's not really the prospect I once thought he was, and yeah, I just think we can get something for him and move forward with that. So there you go. We will move forward to the next move. So we are here almost at opening day, and we'll just go over who made the team and get ready for the next episode and the next season. So April 1st, 2031. This is your opening day roster, so I'll break it down a little bit. So we'll have Rodriguez, Grisham, Mercedes, and Mitchell all starting as our outfielders. Then Byron Buxton will back up. His ratings have dropped quite a bit. He's probably I'm good with him as a backup outfielder, but he'll be mixing in a couple times a week. DH, all the outfield positions. And then in the infield, Pena makes the roster as your opening day third baseman with Schreier out for a little bit. And I like Schreier as our, utility guy in the infield anyway, so I'm kind of cool with him being suspended for a little bit. Makes my job easier. Pena had a really nice spring. Tommy White also cracks the roster again. He'll be playing against lefties a lot and, a little bit against righties as well. Ben Hoffman, our backup catcher, backing up King, who has really turned into, an absolute stud. I'd love to lock him up long term if we could. We'll get to that later, but Ben Hoffman will be backing up, playing a little DH, maybe some first base if we get the opportunity, but he'll be mixing in a bit. It's only bound for an injury to happen early on, so I'm not terribly worried about that. About playing time for any of these guys. We should all be good, so I like that lineup a little bit better. So on the pitching side, so probably what you would have guessed. Jose Pena makes the roster. He had a good spring besides this one game, and he was out of options. I like his leadership, and that's why he made the squad. Elvis Novas makes it as well. He had a good spring, and he was good last year too. So not really surprising. John Lash pushed to the pen, even though he had a really nice spring as well. But we have 5 starters here, so he's much more he's better utilized in the pen anyway. We'll do that. I had the lefty. Lash is a good reliever, so I want to have him in there in the 7th. So there you go. That's your opening day roster for the Minnesota Twins. We will sim up to opening day, and it looks like Jack Ruckert, who may have made the roster, but he gets hurt. And, this will be the opening day lineup. We'll have Rodriguez, Palencia, DiMartini, Mercedes, Mitchell, Correa, Pena, King, Jr., and Grisham. Mike Wolf will go in game 1 because he won the Cy Young last year. I'd like to give it to Nola, but, Wolf earned the opening day start, I would say. My game is just frozen, so I'll be back in a second. So my game actually froze and I had to restart it, but luckily I saved the day before, so... owner expectations for the year. They want us to reach the playoffs. Pretty cool. I think we should win it all again. So we'll go to the preseason predictions. 105 and 57 is our projection, much higher than last year. Wow, the Tigers are supposed to steal 226 bases. That is crazy. They're supposed to finish second. Second best record in the AL in our division. Tough luck for them, but whatever. Sucks to suck, I guess. DiMartini expected to be a top hitter. Palencia as well. And those are the only guys. Looks like they moved Noah Franco to first base. Probably a good decision. And Mike Wolf expected to be a top pitcher, along with Aaron Nola, No Hagen Smith. And so we'll hop into opening day here. It'll be Mike Wolf on the mound and against Houston here. So let's do opening day. We win 4-3. And looks like Mike Wolf gave a pretty solid start. Not great, but the bullpen's able to do a good job to get us the win. Looks like we had home runs from DeMartini and Correa and Hoffman, who had a pinch hit home run. Looks like so pretty cool. Anyway, that'll wrap up the episode. This is episode 21 of the Out of the Park Baseball 24 series with the Twins. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys in episode 22, where we'll go through the first half of the year. We'll see you later. Bye.